So when I think of believing, I think of many different ways in just understanding who you are and understanding what your goals are when it comes to attracting and getting found and also getting heard in the marketplace or any type of industry that you're looking for. So back when I started out a long time ago, I was in college, students, and I really didn't know much about what I wanted to do, what type of career I wanted to have. I remember in high school, I would sell candy to students and I would do all these small projects, but it never really connected to what I would like to do in the future. And so I realized that a lot of times you have to really just believe in yourself in general, believe in that you have the confidence, that you have what it takes to move forward. Not only to move forward in your career, but also believing that you have a reason to grow, have a reason to grow in a business, even if you don't know what that is yet. So I talk to many people and they might say that, well, I don't know what I would like to speak on. I really don't know what I would like to go after yet. But in reality, it all begins with belief. So when I was in college, again, walking around campus, didn't really know what I wanted. I decided to go ahead and join a group. So it's an association that really went over marketing and business topics. And I got to start networking with people, to do research. So I started to talk with people at my internship that I had. And what I realized is that there's so many opportunities online, there's so many opportunities offline as well. So what I did was that networking helped me to understand what I wanted to be before I even graduated. So I ended up getting a marketing degree, but really believing in myself that I'm able to connect with people, network with people, and go out there and make something of myself. That's what really started everything. So while I was in college, I got an internship, and this internship taught me a lot about business, about how things work in the marketplace. So it was my first job. I would say it wasn't my first job, but more so my first professional job. Here, I was tasked with being the marketing person for the small business. And I had never had a responsibility like that before. And what that taught me was I would need to go and do my own research and find out what competitors are out in the marketplace. And once I started doing that, I started to really enjoy what I did. I started to really enjoy the aspect of marketing and going out there and trying to be above competitors, no matter if the competitors have a larger budget or have more experience than us. I thought that, that was so interesting to me. And that's when I realized that it's not always about just choosing what you want to do in life, what kind of profession. It's more so going out there and deciding that you're going to try different things to figure out what works. I realized that sometimes we can get in the mode of thinking, hey, I have to choose something that I want to do in life, and that has to be it. I have to do this for 20 years, I have to do this for 30 years. In reality, be comfortable with going out there and trying new things, trying random things that you think might work. It might not, it might work, but you got to try it out as first. And I think so many times that we're scared to actually make that leap and try anything. So what we end up doing is we settle, we stick with this one thing that we started doing, and then that's it, because we fear that if we do something else, it might not work out. But in reality, that's where it happens. That's where it happens whenever you try different things. So at this internship, I got to try different areas of marketing. It was social media, it was online marketing, and that's when I found out what I really like. So I ended up getting certified in internet marketing back then, and that's what really put me on the path to try to grow businesses. And one story I always tell people is whenever I was trying to help this local small church, it only had 100 members. And we were up against so many larger churches in the area. Some of these churches, they had 5,000, 6,000 plus members. And fortunately, we were still able to be ahead of them when it comes to Google rankings. And that's when I realized there's so much opportunity, not just for the business, but also people building a personal brand. It's not about the size of company you have, it's not about the resources, but it's just about believing in yourself and knowing where to go to get the knowledge it takes to actually grow your brand or your business. Because if you think about it, we're in a new time in America and the world in general when it comes to connecting with people and attracting. So when it comes down to believing, you got to believe that you have something valuable to add to the marketplace first. You have to believe that your skill is enough. And another thing I see often is that people feel that, well, you know what, I don't have enough experience to do something. I don't have the know-how to do something. But in reality, you got to think about it, is if you know a little bit more than the next person, that information can be valuable. That information can be valuable to others. You don't have to have multiple degrees in a topic in order to teach somebody how to do something. So back before I was a professional speaker or an author, I was helping people with their market campaigns. And I would say I would have maybe 2 years experience, 2 to 3 years experience, but my experience was so valuable to a small business owner. So I would go around and teach small business owners how effective it could be to be online, to have a website, to just have a map listing when people are searching for your type of business. And they were all shocked at how easy it was. And that made me realize that, hey, it's not only about just getting those degrees or getting those certifications, it's about, do you truly have something that's valuable to somebody else? Do you have that experience that can help somebody else, the next person? Because I believe that if we have talents inside of us and we're not going out there and sharing that talent, it's actually a disservice. You know, if we keep thinking to ourselves, hey, we don't have enough experience, well, we don't have the know-how, that's a disservice to all those people that could use your help. And I see this with online as well. We might have a topic that we have in mind and we're scared to post it because it's not perfect. You know, we don't have a perfect video out there. We don't have a high quality camera. We don't know if we're gonna come off as being nervous. You know, so there's so many different excuses that we make that hold us back from going after our dreams. So you gotta think about, what do I have that's valuable, believing in yourself, and also getting that word out in the beginning. Because at the end of the day, if you don't believe in yourself, people are not gonna believe in you. So some people might believe in you, but at the end of the day, you have to think about, how can you motivate yourself? And it all starts with believing in what you have is valuable to the general public. Or not even just general public, but to a specific marketplace or a specific group of people. And so back when that internship ended, I thought to myself, okay, what can I do next? What's gonna help me to reach different people, to reach different audiences? I decided to go in and talk to different people that were in my field. And so one thing I noticed when I was in the internship, when I was joining these organizations, is there wasn't many people that, or like me, that are just trying to find out what to do, they don't have a professional job. And I realized, I was like, wait a minute, why aren't people out there going out and networking and getting to know the people that could possibly get them a job? You know, these people have 10 years experience and it could be intimidating, but one thing I realized is that so many people are out there to help you. So again, believing in yourself. And that's when I realized, when I would go to these associations, is that they weren't intimidating. It was more so people just didn't go there. So going there and introducing yourself and saying, hey, my name is Chris, and this is what I would like to do in the future. And you'll be surprised of how many people are willing to help you out. And that's what shocked me. It's like, I grew up and I thought that, well, if somebody already made it, or if somebody already had so much experience, why would they help a person that's just starting out in their career? You know, what does that do for them? You know, why should they take 30 minutes out to have lunch with me? And when I realized that, I started believing in myself more. I said, you know what, maybe they are willing to help. Maybe it wasn't the fact that I would go to the events, maybe the fact that they saw that I believed in myself. And one thing I realized too is, If I'm just in the presence, that's good. That's good enough. If I'm just in the presence of all these people that are successful in their career, that's good enough. And I think what that does is that helps them understanding that you believe in yourself and that you're taking the next steps to grow your career. And so just the fact of you being there helps out, and they're willing to help you. And after that, after us being part of these meetings, I decided, you know what, let me start to communicate with some people. Let me start to join the organization. Let me start to be a board member. And I feel like that took everything to another level, because once you commit to build relationships with people, then that's when you build trust. You're building the trust with people that can help you out. And when I say trust in people helping you out, it makes me realize that you can't do it alone. There's so many people in your life that can help you out. No matter how successful you are, you still need people. And to build those connections, not only build those connections, but maintaining those relationships too. That can be a major area that you can work on to move yourself forward. So back to when I was networking. So I joined the organizations, I would participate, and then that's when more opportunities came. Eventually I graduated, and I remember getting some emails from people. They would say, you know what, I have a job opening, I have this marketing manager position open, what do you think, are you available? And what shocked me the most about that is the fact that I didn't apply for the position. So I didn't apply for the position. And the fact that somebody reached out to me for a job, that's when I realized that I'm on the right track, at least. And it's interesting because the person that reached out to me, he was a CMO of a regional bank. And the reason he reached out was because I would go to those meetings 4 or 5 years ago, and then he remembered that I was just graduating. So from then on out, I knew the power of building those key relationships in order to connect with your audiences. And so eventually, after doing all this, getting out there, networking, I started thinking to myself, you know what, how can I stand out? How can I stand out and reach audiences? Well, at the time, the audiences were organizations that needed me to be an employee, to work at their company. And so I decided, think about how can I get a job, because my business wasn't really working out at the same time. I had a consumer electronics business, was selling on auction sites, eBay. It didn't really work out. I was too busy working in school, but I realized, let me see if I can get a job so I can get a lot more experience than I have right now, because I realized I needed more to go to the next level. And what I did was started networking. The networking, it paid off, but it really didn't land me those jobs that I really wanted. And so ended up creating a website because I read some books. I was like, you know what? This is the time to stand out as far as your brand, and creating a website is a way to stand out. So I quickly gathered a lot of the images that I've had in the past of me going out and networking. A lot of content is regarding the groups that I would work with, the internships that I would have, and also the student organizations I was part of. And I just gathered everything and I put it on one website. And this isn't just like a huge website with 30, 40 pages. It was just a basic website as can be. So WordPress website took me probably like a couple days, and I didn't think much of it. So the website, when you go to it, had my picture, had the degree I was about to finish, my awards and everything like that. And that was it. Just left it there. Didn't do much with it. I would add content every now and then. And then eventually I ended up putting that website on my resume. And then I started going out and submitting my resume to all these different companies and recruiting agencies. And I think back then it was some type of website, monster.com, or some website where you put your resume and you get the word out about what you want to do in your skill set. And eventually, out of the blue, a recruiter called me and she was saying, hey, we want to interview you for this position. and it's a marketing specialist position. You're going to be on a team with about 5 to 10 other people. It's going to be remote as well. So I was like, okay, cool, no problem. And so the second time she contacted me, she said, all right, so the first is going to be a couple phone interviews, and then there's going to be an in-person interview. And so it turns out, she was like, yeah, the company is Google. And I was shocked. I was like, what are the chances of Google, finding a person like me in San Antonio, Texas, where I was going to school? And again, I was shocked, and I think what helped was the fact that I built those relationships, not relationships at Google, but just relationships in the community, and also just relationships as far as like going to networking events and doing a little bit more and believing in myself that, hey, I can go and talk to some of these people that are marketing managers. I can go and talk to these people that are executives, and I can get to know them. And so the first interview came around, so it was great. And we were able to discuss what the position was going to be about. It was going to be about presenting. It's going to be about educating small business owners. It's going to be about going out there and helping promote Google products. And I was excited. First interview went well. I was shocked that they even reached out. And then the second interview went well, so just went over more details about my experience, about my past working with businesses, marketing, degree, and other stuff. And the third interview was what stood out to me the most. So I remember going to a hotel, and the interview was in like the ballroom area, and there's 3 individuals, and one was a director, and there's 2 managers, but only one was really speaking the whole time. And so when I was speaking, when I was talking with them, I would mention all my experiences, and they really didn't have any emotions at all. So I was pretty nervous at the time, and so I said, hey, I like to present, I like to help businesses, and this is the association that I was a part of, and that's it. The interview was pretty quick. So I walked out. I would say the interview was about 15, 20 minutes. Again, only one person was talking. And so afterwards, I went to my website, made sure everything looked good, because I was like, you never know if they actually looked at the website. But I use a tool that helps you to figure out what's actually going on your website. And it turns out that during that interview, one of them was looking at my website. I was shocked. So a person from Google was actually on my website. And I realized like this could help me get this position, because back then, most people didn't have a website, and I'm here with just a regular resume, but the website showed all the stuff that I've been doing, events, pictures, and a lot of other things that I've done in my college career that helped me stand out. And so once I realized that, I was excited, because I was like, man, if they saw the website, then they can know more about who I am and more about who I want to be in the future and how I believe in myself. So, but at the end of the day, I think believing in myself really took my career to the next level. And bottom line is, if you believe in yourself, the sky's the limit. So you can do anything possible. And remember, trying out new things is the key to land on what you want to do, and also how can you use what you want to do to help and impact people and really get your voice heard.